Are you listening?
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Shantae, and today in my world, I'm going to give you all one of my story times that I just feel like this night for me was nuts. I didn't know if I was going to be raped. I didn't know if I was going to be kidnapped, buried somewhere. I have no idea. And I know it seemed like, it's like, dang, you know, what happened? But to me, so many things was running through this big old head of mine, so I just didn't know what to expect. But before I get started, please make sure that you like this video, make sure that you comment down below, share this video, and most importantly, subscribe to this video so that you can see me in all my other videos. And y'all, watch to the end so you can just hear how the outcome was of the entire situation. So let me get started. So this particular weekend that everything happened to me was Mother's Day weekend. And I remember this like it was yesterday. I don't remember the exact date, but I remember this like it was yesterday. So my mom was going out of town for Mother's Day weekend. It was like a bunch of her girlfriends, they were going out of town. And she was gonna be gone from like Wednesday of that week to Sunday. Mother's Day is always on a Sunday. So she wasn't coming back in town until Mother's Day itself. So she was like, you know, you and your sister can use my car because she wasn't taking her car out of town. So me and my sister was able to use her car, which was cool. You know, I would get with my girlfriend, sometimes we would do things and my sister would do her thing. And so we basically was sharing the car. Now on Saturday night, it was this club that was hot that we always went to. So I had already told my sister, like, when Saturday come, I want to use the car so I can go to this club. She like, that's cool, I don't have nothing planned. And if I do something, I'll do it earlier that day. That way that night you can see the car. I'm like, good, like, yes, like, because we love this club. We always had a good time. So I'm like, cool. So Saturday get there, me and my friends already decide, like, I'm going to drive to one of my friends' house. That's where we're going to meet up at. We're going to get in one car. We're going to go to the club, and then whatever happens is going to happen. So Saturday come, you know, we talking about what we go where. Things are going good. We getting hyped because tonight we about to see everybody in the club because that's where everybody be. That was just like a good spot. Good music, good vibes, good people, everything. So I get dressed and everything. It's about that time. So I get dressed and I go to my friend's house. She lives on the other side of town. So I took my mom's car, drove it to my friend's house, and I kept my mom's car outside of her house because we actually hopped in her car. So we hopped in her car, went downtown because our club was right downtown. So went downtown to the club. And in the club, we seen everybody. Like, normally we would see everybody anyway, but it just always is a good time. This particular night, I seen this guy that I was feeling. I'm like, oh, like, I didn't even know he was going to be here. And you know, when you see somebody that you like, or that you feel it, you know, you do a 360. It's like, oh, what's up? How you doing? So he was already my friend, like, because we went to college and everything together. So he was my friend. I already knew who he was and stuff. It wasn't nothing new. So we went over there and his friends was our friends. So we went over and spoke to everybody, you know, gave them a hug, seeing how they was and things like that. So me and him started to talk for a little second and he like, well, what you doing after the club? Like, nothing. Like, I gotta go back and get my mom's car because I'm driving her car. So I gotta go back to get my mom's car and then I'm headed home. So he like, you should come see me. I'm like, okay, sure, what? I'm going. So he said, you should come and see me after the club. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Like, I'll make sure that we talk after the club. So basically, the club normally is like 11 to 2:30. When you're younger, you stay at the club for that whole time. So we got down there. We didn't really leave until 2:30. You know, we left when the lights started coming on, everything like that. Music started dying down because we was younger. So, you know, we out, we party, we having a good time. So he wound up leaving like, I want to say probably like an hour or so before the club was closed. And he had told me like, okay, I'm about to leave. Make sure you hit me up so you could come through and you could see me. I'm like, I got you. So I'm all like, okay, like, y'all, guess what? Guess who has some going over after the club? This and that. So we leave the club, we head back to my girlfriend's house because I have to pick up my mom's car and then I'm gonna go my separate ways. So I told them, like, y'all, when I get to his house, I'll text y'all, let y'all know. Because every time me and my girlfriends go somewhere, if we go in our separate ways, we always make sure to let each other know, like, when we get home, just to be safe. So I get in my mom's car because we left this club by that time. We drove back to my girlfriend's house. I got in the car and I'm texting him like, okay, what's your location? What's the address? I've never been to his house before. Mind you, the club ended at 2:30. So about this time, we're going already into 3-something in the morning. So he's telling me everything, telling me the information. So I know the side of town that it was on, but I still never knew exactly where he lived at. So I get in my mom's car. Mind you, I had drove from my house to my girlfriend's house, got back in the car from her house so I could drive to his house. Everything was going smooth, everything. So I'm on the expressway, I'm driving, I'm babbling to my music. I'm getting nervous because I'm like, I ain't never been to this guy's house, but I want to see Shorty, period. So I'm like, I've never been to his house, but like I said, I've been to the side of town. It was cool. So I knew the exit that I was getting off of everything. But the exit I was getting off at didn't really have nothing surrounding it. So it's like, you go around the bend, you get off this exit, and it's a stoplight right in front of you. And then it's like a building on the side, but there's nothing else around you until you drive up a little way, and then you'll see convenience stores, it's an auto zone, different things like that. You'll start to see restaurants, but you have to drive up a little way once you get off the exit. So I'm on the expressway and I'm driving, I'm doing 65 miles per hour. For some reason, it's like the car starts to slow down, but my foot is on the gas, and I'm like, why would it be slowing down if I haven't put my foot on the brake? So I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't know what's going on. So at this point, when I see the miles per hour is dropping, I try to push my foot harder on the gas, hold on, am I tripping? So I pushed my foot harder on the gas. It never accelerated. It actually began to slow down. So I didn't know what was going on. So luckily, I was coming up to this exit, and I'm telling him I'm coming up to the exit, what's about to be my next move or whatever. So I literally get off the exit, get to that stoplight I was telling you all about, and the car just cuts off. Mind you all, at this point, it's 3:30 in the morning. It's pitch black. It's getting cooler because it's May, so it's getting cooler at night. Nobody is really on the expressway. I felt like really I was the only one, and maybe a couple cars, but they were on the opposite side, so they was driving in the opposite direction. So I get out the expressway, literally at that stoplight, and the car stops. Y'all, I don't have nobody around me. I told you already, the scenery was no houses, no nothing. You literally have to drive up a little bit before you start seeing houses and convenience stores and restaurants. It was a little building on the side. Of course, the building was closed. It's a Saturday night, a weekend. Nobody is working, especially ain't working at 3:30 in the morning. Yeah, I'm just scared at this point. It starts to rain, of course. I'm like, I got on this dress, these shoes, no umbrella. It's starting to rain. It's cool outside. I'm in the middle of no man's land in my mind. And I don't know what to do. So I'm like, okay, taking the key out, restarting it, trying to see if it'd start. Nothing happened. It wouldn't start. And so it was kind of, even though it was dark, it was gloomy out. And I could see that the hood was starting to smoke. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I really don't know what happened because, mind you, me and my sister had already been driving this car from Wednesday up until today's date, which was that Saturday. So I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I have no clue. So I called my friend, where you at? By this time, it ain't taking you that long. You had already told me you was getting close to the exit. I'm like, I'm here, but the car has stopped on me. I don't know what to do. So he's trying to give me little things of what to do, oh, try this, try that. Did you take out the key? Did you try to restart it? Did you try to, anything that he could just think of? He was asking me, did I do it? I'm like, yeah, I did this and that. Now, mind you, I never got out the car, lifted up the hood and all that stuff. Honey, I'm a girl. I don't know what's going on with that. So I never did any of that. I only did, little things inside the car that I thought that I could make work. Nothing happened. And like I said, it started to smoke. So I'm like, it has to be some type of situation. I had gas. I wasn't driving on E or nothing like that, but it wouldn't start after I'm steady taking out the key and redoing it. And my mama had a Taurus. So I'm like, okay, nothing is working. So I sit there for a while. My friend's like, I'm getting dressed. I'm about to come down there, but just give me a minute because I basically was kind of chilling in a sense. But I was just waiting for you to get here. Let me really throw on some clothes. Let me drive my mom car down there. I'm going to come see what's up. So he was like, but I stay on the phone with you. Because I'm like, can you stay on the phone with me? Like, it's dark. I'm out here by myself. Nobody's here. And I'm like, my mind is somebody, because when you kind of on the expressway, you driving, you slow up when you trying to get to that, when you're getting off the expressway. So when you get to that exit that you're going, you still kind of going at a good speed until you slow down because you getting off at the exit. So I'm like, somebody can get off the exit and hit me because I'm just sitting at the exit. At this point, I'm still at the exit at that light. So anybody could come off the exit, hit me and push me. So if cars are coming, I could get hit, or like I said, they could take me or do something. So I'm like, okay, I'm cool. I ain't really that scared or nervous at this point. But I am watching my surroundings, like, looking around, making sure nobody coming up behind, things like that. So after a while, a little bit go by, a little bit of time. I'm still on the phone with him. This car pulls up behind me. Y'all, I was so scared because they could have easily just went around me and went their own way. Because, sometimes when you see cars like stopped on the side of the road, or you see people on the side of the road, you don't always stop and see what's going on. You feel like almost in the sense like, oh, I'm pretty sure they called somebody. Maybe AAA, they didn't call a friend, they didn't call somebody. So you kind of go around, you go about your business, you go wherever you was going. This car stayed behind me. And I was like, oh my God. So I'm looking in the rearview mirror like, who is that? Y'all, it's two guys in this car. Two guys, one of me. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what's about to happen. So they sitting behind me for a minute. So me out the window, I'm like, y'all could go ahead because I'm basically stuck right here. I'm going to be stuck until my friend gets down here with his mom's car. They both get out the car, come to the passenger side and the driver's side window. I'm terrified. Mind you, I got this look, like the windows rolled up because I'm not playing. Like, who are y'all? Lock my doors. Everything was in the clear. I'm like, no. So they trying to talk to me. He knocked on the window. He trying to talk to me. I'm like, no. So I literally rolled down maybe this much, little crack in the window so I could hear what he was saying. And he like, what's going on? What happened? And I didn't want to talk to him, but I didn't want to be rude either. But mind you, it's getting closer to 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm out here by myself. So I rolled down the window. You just had a little crack. I don't need nothing. I just need this much to hear what you got to say. So he like, what's going on? Like, you stopped right here and this is a dangerous spot. Somebody could get out the expressway and hit you. And I told you, one is on this side, one is on that side. I'm like, when my car stopped, I don't know what happened. I'm waiting for my friend to get down here. He's on his way. But thank you. Like, he was like, no, we're going to help you. Like, he was like, we're going to help you. Like, don't be worried. So I'm on the phone with my friend, like, because before they even came to the window, I'm like, somebody is getting out their car. It's two guys. Please hurry up and get down here. Like, I don't know what's about to happen. I don't know what they're going to try to do. Like, I'm scared now. At this point, I'm scared. He's like, I'm coming. Like, I promise I'm coming. I'm about to stay on the phone with you still. So they get to the window. Like I said, they were saying what's happening. You could get hit. It's dangerous right here. I'm like, the car automatically stopped. I don't know what's going on. It won't cut back on. It did start to smoke. I don't know what to do. He like, well, we need to move you to the side. So remember I told y'all it was like a building over here. So they had like a parking lot, a little driveway because it was a small building. So he like, we need to at least get you over to that parking lot. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, my friend is coming, so you all don't have to help me. He was like, we're not going to do nothing to you. Like, I promise. Because he saw it in my face. Like, I was terrified. Like, I don't know what y'all got planned. Y'all could have been thinking this when y'all was still sitting in the car before y'all walked to the window. He was like, we just want to make sure that you get off the road in one piece. Because like we said, somebody could hit you. So I'm nervous, but he did make clear. He was like, we're not going to do nothing to you. Nothing's going to happen. We just want to help. So I'm still on the phone with my friend. I'm like, okay, that kind of gave me a sense of relief. He like, you don't even have to get out the car. Because at this point, I'm like, I'm not getting out this car. I don't care what y'all have said. He like, you don't even have to get out the car. But we want to try to push you. So he was kind of directing me on what to do inside the car. So that way they can at least try to push me, whether it was going to start by itself or not. So I think I went in like neutral. And they were starting to see if they can give me a push. By this time, my friend had pulled up in his mom's car. So he got out. He was talking to them. Mind you, it's rainy. It's cold. I'm like, just looking like, okay, sense of relief. My friend got here. I don't feel bad. I'm not just by myself. So when he got there, they basically was telling like, we was just telling her we need to push her to the side in that parking lot because we don't want her to get hit. We don't want nothing to happen. We're just here to help. So at that point, they tell me, like I said, what to do inside the car. I believe I put it in neutral so that they can give me that push. So all three of them are pushing me. You know, I'm directing the steering wheel so that I can get into this parking lot. And it's going. So luckily, thank God, nobody else came off the expressway. Because at that point, it's my car, the two guys' car, and they would have hit both of us. Because you don't slow down, like I said, when you get off the exit normally until you get to that light off that exit. So I'm like, they could have just hit both of us. So thank God it was that early in the morning, or that late in the morning, whatever you want to say. And nobody else came. It was just still us out there in the middle of nowhere trying to push me to the side. So luckily, they got me to the side in that parking lot. They still was trying to figure out what was going on and why the car wouldn't start. So they wound up giving me a jump. And at this point, I was able to start the car and it was running. But they had figured, like, if you start it and you stop it, it probably won't come on again. You probably gonna continue to have to jump it and keep going until you at your final destination. So I'm like, okay. So my friend was like, you know, you drive my mom's car, I'm gonna drive your mom's car. That way you can feel a little bit safer. So I'm like, at this point, I'm in the clear. I'm like, okay, he a little handy. He a little handy with the car. I feel good. So he let me drive his mom's car. He drove my mom's car, and the guys had left. Like, you know, and I did thank them. I'm like, thank you. He thanked them because I was just like, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what was going on. I was nervous. So I'm happy that you all helped me get out to the side of the road, because you never know what can happen out here. It's so dark. You by yourself. So, you know. So at that point, we went to his house still, and I was just like, it's cold, you know, we chilling, we talking. At this point, we done talked until early in the morning, because now we trying to figure out what we supposed to do. When I'm thinking it's about to be like, oh, I get to go see him, we about to be chilling, I'm be in his face, like, no. My whole thing was, what am I gonna do? My mama car is messed up. I gotta tell her when she get back from out of town, like, just a mess. I didn't know if I did something. I just wasn't ready for that conversation. So at this point, like I said, once I got back to his house, we had to be about 4:30. We just basically stayed up and talked. So it ain't really like I spent the night, but in a sense I kind of did, because we sat there and talked till the morning, because we was basically like, in the morning we gonna do another jump. I'll still drive to your mom's house in your car. I mean in her car, so that way you still feel safe. You just drive my mom's car. So that next morning, like, probably want to say maybe like 7 in the morning, because we didn't get no sleep. Because like I said, we didn't really go to sleep. We stayed up talking the whole night, because I'm trying to figure out what's the next move for myself getting home, for my mom's car, everything like that. So the next morning about I keep on saying the next morning. That same morning about 7 o'clock, we go out to the car, do the jump again. He drives my mom's car, I drive his mom's car, and we get on the expressway, everything. We just basically told ourselves we have to keep going, and once we get to your house, it'll be stopped. So all that night, finally got back in front of my house, stopped my mom's car completely, and he was able to drive his mom's car, and he came in the house. And I just remember I had like 2 Mother's Day cards, and he was like, I didn't even get to give my mama something, so I done gave him one of my Mother's Day cards. Thank you for helping me. It's like, in a sense, it was kind of embarrassing, because it was like, dang, I was trying to be crushing on Shorty, and I didn't even get to do none of that. He had to help me with car trouble, figure out what was going on. It was crazy, but that was a real friend, because like I said, he was my friend anyway. So that was a real friend, and I wasn't stuck. I'm just thanking God he didn't fall asleep or nothing like that happened, because I would have been SOL. And hopefully y'all know what that means. I was gonna just be out there looking like a straight deer with no help. And at this time, my friends will sleep by now, because like I said, it was so early in the morning. So I got home, you know, he had wound up leaving. Like I said, I thanked him, because everything was crazy. And y'all, come to find out, my mom's car had blew a head gasket. I don't really know too much about head gaskets, but I do know it's almost in a sense like, if one of those blow in your car normally is done. You need to get a new car, or it's going to be very expensive to replace. So, you know, when she got home, I explained everything what happened. When she went and took it to the mechanic, they had said the head gasket had blew. And at that point, she wound up having to get a new car, because it was just going to be too expensive. So I just felt this sense of relief, because I'm like, okay, I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing wrong. I was really just driving it. You know, nothing was going crazy. I didn't hit nothing. Nobody hit me. I didn't know what happened. And it wasn't her battery. Like I said, it wasn't gas. It really was a head gasket that blew. Would have never knew until she took it to the mechanic. But to wrap up that story, I just felt way better. But y'all don't understand. 2 men getting out their car, coming on both sides of the windows. It's in the middle of the night. It's raining. It's cold. I'm by myself. Honey, I thought I was going to be on the news because I didn't know what to do. I'm like, I don't got no weapons in this car. Phone is almost going dead because I don't have no charger. I wasn't expecting to come see my friend. I'm lost. But I thank God everything turned out good. And I thank God that it was actually good people, because some people are actually good people. So I was just happy that everything turned out like it turned out. I didn't disappear. I didn't get kidnapped. Like, I really was good. My friend really came. Everything worked out for the best. And like, even with my mom's car, she didn't have to pay for it. She just wound up having to get a new car, which I feel like basically that just meant it was time. So everything worked out. Of course, he's still my friend to this day. But I'm like, I know neither one of us will never forget that being the first time I thought we was gonna be like, none of that. So guys, that was my story time of just me being stuck on the middle of the road, not knowing what was going to happen to my entire life. But like I said, I'm happy as good people actually in the world and nothing just devastating happened to me. Thank you, God. But tell me what you think about this story time. I hope you all watch to the very end. And guys, don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to comment down below. Make sure that you share this video. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Hey, tell your friends and tell your friends. And most importantly, subscribe. Make sure that you catch me in all my other videos. And make sure that you catch me in my next video. Thank you for tuning to my world. Until next time. Bye.
Are you listening?
Hey, let's talk about it, Shantae. Let's talk about it, Shantae. Let's talk about it, Shantae. Don't talk about it, Shantae. Let's talk about it, Shantae. Let's talk about it, Shantae. Let's talk about it, Shantae.
I'ma talk about it, okay?
Only place I wanna be is in Shantae's world. Only place I wanna be is in Shantae's world. Only place I wanna be is in Shantae's world. Only place I wanna be is in Shantae's world. Let's talk about it, Shantae. Let's talk about it, Shantae. Let's talk about it, Shantae. Don't talk about it, Shantae. Let's talk about it, Shantae. Let's talk about it, Shantae. Let's talk about it, Shantae.